Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing great. Guys, today I'm gonna try to get a hood on the GT. I've got a hood, but it's got some problems, and I'm gonna see if I can fix it. It's a very common problem with those hoods, and let's see if we can fix it and get us a hood where we can have the motor covered up on the GT. All right, guys, let's get into it. So guys, when I bought the car, the original owner, the hood flew up, busted the windshield, and you can see where it lightly hit the top of the car. But anyways, the original hood, it's all busted up, and I've been trying to find a hood, haven't been having any luck trying to find a good used hood. A friend of mine gave me this V6 hood. It's god awful gold, but the problem with it is Ford has these really small studs that stick out, and it's really small, and they're bad about breaking off, and that's what's happened right there. So I'm going to see if I can fix that. The original hood it's all busted up, as you can see, and the way this thing is designed, the way it's built, if you'll look, that thing has a plate. Has a plate in there, and sadly my hood all the studs are good, so I'm going to try to drill the one out in that V6 that's broke off to see if I can tap through, drill a hole and tap, and see if I can get a stud in there. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Couldn't really see a whole lot online about it, but it's a shame because this is a real good hood, and it's in pretty good shape. So I'm going to see if I can drill that broken stud out, maybe tap the hole and JB weld a stud in there, maybe just as a temporary hood till I can actually find a better one. But anyways, that's what the plan is. Let's see how well this works out. So you can see right here where it's broke off. I'm gonna try to grind this off and drill a hole in the center and maybe tap it out and put some JB weld a stud in there, because there's just nowhere. This is sealed up, and as I showed you in the other hood, it's got that bracket that's braced in here. So, but I think one of the things that causes these studs to break off, and you see it a lot, they use a lock nut, and it's such a small stud, and I believe that once these studs get a little corrosion, even some rust, and cause this is a lock nut when people go to take the hoods off, and it's such a small diameter, I think with this lock nut on top of some rust and crud in these threads, once it gets way out and you're wrenching it with the wrench, I think it's just too much for down here, and they break off and twist off. Maybe if these weren't lock nuts and had regular nuts with lock washers, that would help. But hey, I guess Ford said, hey, let's go on and put a lock nut on there so we don't have people's hoods flying off going down the road. All right, guys, let's see how well we can, see if we can get this figured out. See if we can grind this down, drill a hole in the center, tap it out, JB weld a stud in there, and maybe I'll have a temporary hood for a little while anyway. All right, guys. We got that thing ground down. I'm gonna make a little dimple in the center here, and let's see if we can get a hole drilled in it. So got my hole drilled, got it fairly center, and we're gonna see if we can run a tap down there and put some 1/4 threads in there and see if we can JB weld a stud in there. All right, guys, I got my 1/4 tap here and my handle, and We're going to see if we can put some threads in that hole. Let's see how this goes. All right, guys. Just gonna get you a good angle. We've got some threads in there, and now we'll see if our quarter 20 bolt will screw in there. All right, that's fitting pretty good. It's good and tight. We're gonna JB weld that thing in there, but I'm gonna have to cut this off. They didn't have a bolt exactly what I wanted. I wanted a stud, but the problem was the stud, it had fine thread on one end and coarse thread on the other, and then it had this gap in the middle, how studs have, and I couldn't use that. So I just got a bolt, and I'm gonna put it the proper length that I want it, and I'm gonna cut this off, and we're gonna see how it goes. So guys, looking back at it, I didn't get it exactly straight, did I? Kind of the way the hood's curving and everything. I should have stepped back, but like I said, this is just gonna be a temporary hood. Hopefully this thing, I've got enough play there where to get in there and bolt down to that hood bracket. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna spray a little cleaner in here. Go ahead and get that lubricant out. Let this be drying, so whenever I put the JB weld in there, we'll have good clean threads. And if you'll notice, guys, I chose the quarter 20. I know those studs are metric. I'm not sure what size metric studs those are. It takes a 10 millimeter socket to take off the nuts, but this quarter 20 fits in there just right. So just enough room. That's why I went with the quarter 20. All right, guys, the other stud measured about 7/8 of an inch, but I'm gonna go just a little bit more because I need to round the end a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do there with the cutting wheel. All right, guys. So I put the two nuts on here when I went to make my cut. I knew better. I knew I had to lock those two down to keep the stud that I made from spinning. So I locked it down, and then I cut the desired length that I wanted, and then I beveled it so I could get the bolt off of there. And all right, it's just a little bit taller. I may cut it down some more. But yeah, anyways, I wanted it a little bit tall because you can take away, but you can't add. not on the bolts anyway. All right, guys. So guys, I went ahead and I cut some more off of it. Same process I used when I cut it the first time, so I didn't video it. But yeah, now we got it the same length as the other stud. I'm just hoping that the little angle that I got it on, I'm hoping there's enough room. If this was going to be a show car, guys, if this was, but I just want this hood, I keep repeating, this is just temporarily till I can find a hood, get a hood. This is just going to, get it where I can park it outside if I need to. All right, guys. doing everything right, Mr. Inspector? Hey, girl. Hey, Mia. Shop inspector. All right, guys. I got my JB weld down in the hole, and I'm going to wait 24 hours or however long it is. I'm going to wait 24 hours and see if this hood will go on the car tomorrow. Okay, guys. It's the next morning. It's a beautiful morning, too. Feels awesome. All right, guys. So we put the hood, when I say we, my uncle, I had him come over. We put the hood on the car, and I ran into an issue. The issue was apparently when the hood flew up and hit the windshield and busted it. It also, this side of the hood hit this, looks like the windshield wiper. Something done some scraping damage right there. So the hood hinge that's not there now basically was twisted. And what happened when we tried to shut the hood got about this far. That's as far as it would go. The hood was down and back, and it was a mess. That side there seemed to be okay, but this hood hinge here, it was twisted up pretty good. So I didn't want to, you know, that's a fiberglass hood. Didn't want to try to force anything. So we took the hood back off, tried to tweak the hinge a little bit. It's just twisted. It's like got 3 different bends in it. I told my uncle, I said, hey, just forget it. I'll go to the junkyard, or you pull it, or I'll find 2 more hinges. Very easy. They're very easy to change out. Just took out the 2 bolts right there, and the hinge slid off. I told him, I said, instead of, you know, trying to damage the hood or whatever, we just went ahead and set it back in the shop. But I will report back to this. You know, I was afraid that my hood hinge, my studs the stud that I had off a little bit, even though this hinge don't belong on this side, you can tell, it was not a problem. It was not a problem. But yes, this hood hinge here is twisted. It's bent here. These tabs were bent down some. We bent them back a little bit. There's just too much going on with this hinge. I'm not going to try to sit there and try to twist on it. So I've elected to go ahead and just pick up both hinges in case that one right there has an issue that we didn't notice. So, all right, guys. I didn't film it and I didn't take any pictures because I had my uncle helping me. And once we realized that this was going to be a no-go, we took the hood back off, set it back in here. But I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that it did work. And I'm going to put a picture down back in there because on this plate, these are studs and they have little flat heads on the back side. I guess they're either pressed, spot welded, pressed, whatever, into that plate. And I'll put the picture up. So what we did is we drilled through, and we drilled through that head on the back side. So we have the head flange on the back side, and then we have our nut on this side clamping it together. And it was pretty solid. So I'm calling this a fix. If you guys have a 99 through 04 hood with broke off studs, I'm going to call that a fix. Just one piece of advice: when you drill a hole, try to get it a little straighter than what I did. But anyway, guys, my eyes ain't what they used to be. But anyways, guys, all right. So we're going to call it a fix. We'll get some hinges. The hood should go on. I'm glad that we tried to put the hood on. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that those hinges were bent. We're going to get that taken care of. That's just one of those things. We knew this car had a few issues when we bought it. That's how we got it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to all the subscribers from the bottom of my heart, liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. All right, guys, y'all have a great one, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. All right, guys.